parent. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, now is everybody good with, you guys know how to operate speaker view, gallery view? Everybody can see me, right?
Allie, can you hear me?
Is this Sherry?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, girl.
Okay. I
Yeah.
am here. I'm not really good at this stuff.
I'm so proud of you for doing this. So I can mute you and unmute you.
I can go get something here.
I can do, if I hit mute, Sherry, do you see how it asks to mute?
Okay.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. Yep. And then ask to unmute. You see that?
Yes.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey. Oops. Hey.
Technology, baby. I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
me too.
Okay. So I'm gonna get started. I'm trying to figure out, I gotta pin myself so you guys can see. All right, pin me really quick. Okay, there we go. Well, thank you for being here for this electrifying conversation on muscle response testing and herbology. I tried to think of a sexy name to call it, and it wasn't until today that I thought of electric conversation. So, Dad, I'm gonna mute you for a sec. Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, cool. So what I thought we would do today, I want to give you guys kind of the run through. And if you have to pop off at any point, don't worry. You can come in and out of the conversation as needed. I am just grateful that you're here. We're going to start with a really short grounding breathwork exercise to just kind of ground our energy and be aware of our energy. And then we are going to move into a super brief explanation of muscle response testing. And I'm going to open it up to a few people on the call to share what they maybe know about muscle response testing. And I want this to be very interactive. So in the chat section, if you guys want to click the chat and type a question throughout the presentation today, feel free to do that or jot it down. I highly recommend you guys have a notebook and a pen, or pencil, so that you can take notes. You're going to want to take notes on the herbs we talk about, and you're going to want to take notes on the information that you hear, and then also to jot down your questions. But we also have the chat feature that we can use. So just kind of some housekeeping things. I do have a 2-minute video I'm going to show you guys, and then we're going to dive into something, my favorite part. It's herbs and how they relate to emotions. So kind of cool to learn about that. Yes, you will have access to rewatch it later. A question just came through. So it is recording. So whatever you say will be on the interwebs. So I would not share your deepest, darkest desires unless you want it to be on the interwebs. So just so you guys know, share whatever you're comfortable sharing. If there's something that's a sensitive topic, you guys can always connect with me later. If there's some sort of health issue or some sort of personal matter that you want to reach out to me, I am here. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor by any means yet. One day, that's the goal. But right now, I am a naturopathic health educator, which means I can and love educating you about all the things I'm learning in school. So I have learned so much. I was just talking to a fellow student who's actually on here with us tonight, Sherry. I can't believe we're approaching the 6-month mark of school.
I know.
It just like flew by, right? Flew by. So we're going to start with some grounding breath work. So this will be the only time tonight that I ask you guys to stand up. So we're all going to stand. So just something very relaxing, and you guys probably get to see my messy bed, it's real life, right? All right, so as long as you can see me, gosh, I guess I should have cleaned my room. Don't judge. That's okay. You guys can see real life, right? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, so wherever you're at, I want you just to shake out your energy. Shake out your energy, okay? And you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna place them just below your belly button. And that's placing it on your chi energy, that life force within you. We all have that life force, that beautiful breath that we take every single day. And I just want you to close your eyes and be aware of that life force, that chi energy, for about 3 breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. One more time. Good. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your feet root into the earth, into the ground. Then we're going to take our palms up and bring the energy up. Inhale, and then exhale, palms down. Inhale, palms rise. Exhale, press down. Inhale, palms out, right, left. Exhale, palms down. Inhale like a bird, arms rise. Exhale, palms down. Start to take the twist of the body here. The hands come through back to the kidneys and the adrenals. Taking it side to side, almost like a little massage of the lower back. Yes, we get to massage our organs when we do Tai Chi or yoga. Good, and then pause where you are. Just take those hands to heart center. Push those hands into your heart, close your eyes, and just breathe for a moment and notice how you feel. Notice if maybe you feel a little bit calmer, a little more grounded, and a little more in touch with your energy. Giving thanks for this beautiful body you have, this once in a lifetime chance to be kind to the body that you're in, be good to the body that you're in, and give thanks to God for all that He provides in this lifetime and this time together, praying that He gives us the words we need tonight to heal, to honor each other, to respect one another, and to learn something new. Awesome job, you guys. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, you can open your eyes and just notice, take a moment, find your breath. Welcome to those that just joined us. Okay. So from here, we just did a little bit of breath work to center ourselves. And, oops, are you guys there? Oh no, was I frozen?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, when did I freeze?
Just a second ago.
Just a second ago. Okay, is
Yeah.
everyone back? Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, hello, Kevin. Hi, Al.
Hi, we
Hi,
got
how are you? We have
Kevin and
Lori
Mark.
and our friends Lori and Kevin are here too.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you.
Hello.
My husband Kevin.
I'm another Kevin.
We're gonna
Sorry.
put you on the big screen.
We only made it through the breath work and then everybody got cut off.
No, you're good.
Okay. Well, we'll get back on track. We need to hydrate after that breath work.
Yeah.
Okay. What to do? All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. Okay, one sec. Okay. All right, we are back in action. Just reminding you guys that we are recording and going over all things muscle response testing and herbology tonight. So we just did some grounding breath work, practice a little Tai Chi. We talked about where our Chi is stored, and Chi is energy. It's that life force. We're going to be talking a lot about energy tonight. And my hope and prayer tonight is that I can give you insight and guidance, but never prescribing to you. So everything I say tonight, I want to empower you, but I want you to take the information and apply it in your life in a way that works for you. So super brief explanation of muscle response testing. What the heck is muscle response testing? So we're going to talk about that. One second, let me get to that page. Okay. So if everybody wants to mute, we can all mute right now. And I'm going to go dive into a little bit of a presentation, and then I'll open it up to share and questions in a little bit, okay? So it looks like everybody's muted. Perfect. Good work, guys. Okay. So I have this fun little sci-fi tube. And when I put my hand here and I put my hand here, I am creating a closed network. My energy from this hand to this hand causes this tube to light up because I am energy. You are energy. When I don't touch it, the circuit is not closed. When I touch it, the circuit is closed. The circuit is connected. So we did this in class, and there was about 40 of us. We made a big circle around the room, and one person had their hand here, and by the time we got to the end of the circle and the last person touched it, it lit up. So I wish I could have us all do this as an experiment, but it doesn't work through the computer. So you're just going to have to trust me. I'm electric, right? We're all electric. We have electric currents running through our body. So on the last presentation that I did on gut health, I had a presentation up on the screen that you guys could follow, and it was pictures and it was words. But tonight I want to be a little more you and me, a little more conversation. So I'm going to be talking a lot, and you guys are going to be taking notes. So make sure you have a notebook and a pen or pencil. This is also being recorded, so you can go back and watch the recording in case there's parts of this that you really want to go back and listen to, okay? Type your questions in the chat or write your questions in your book, and we're going to get started. So if you think about the body as a house that has electrical lines running through its power at running through to power various functions, then you have an understanding of the body's electricity. Every major and minor organ, tissue, and even cells of the human body are able to communicate with other parts of the body by means of the nervous system. This nervous system is essentially the electrical communication lines of the body. Additionally, throughout the body, science has been able to discover what the ancient Chinese physicians understood 4,000 years ago. We have additional lines of electricity called meridians, moving 0.05 hertz of electricity along pathways from the top of the body, the North Pole, to the bottom of the body, the South Pole, as well as from the trunk and the tips of our fingers and our toes. So when we did that Tai Chi exercise, when we did that breathing exercise, we were working with our energy field, whatever you want to call that, your chakras, your energy. There's lots of different names for it. So the low level energy flow is part of the health of the body. And when it is too low, too high, or blocked, it affects the functions of various organs and tissues. If an electrician enters a house and is told an appliance is not working, one of the first things they will assess is whether or not the electrical plug in the appliance is working. This access point helps determine if the problem is at the plug or the appliance itself. With muscle testing, a test point is held right at the organ. So like right at my heart, right at my lungs, right at my stomach. The test point is held at the organ. And at the organ in question. If the test point, the plug, tests strong, there's a good flow of nutrition. There's a good flow of power in our body to that organ and to the symptoms. And if, however, the test point indicates weak, what's going on? If we test strong, that means we're strong in that part of our body. If we test weak, that means that part of our body is weaker, right? So a more detailed muscle response assessment can be done by a practitioner to determine the specific reason the organ is malfunctioning. So we can test strong, we can test weak, and then we can go a little more in depth and test what's going on in the body. Okay, so I'm going to go back to reading this to you, but to make this more interactive and a little more interesting for you guys, I'm going to play a little video for you. So bear with me as I share my screen here. Okay, let's see. Screen sharing, share screen. There we go. Okay. And can you all see my screen? Thumbs up. Cool. Okay. Here we go.
Muscle testing is a biofeedback test used by
Let's
many.
start it again. And here we go.
Muscle testing is a biofeedback test used by many holistic health practitioners to help assess their patients' energetic vitality. It uses the principles of energy medicine and Chinese medicine. These principles show the fundamental key to body and mind wellness is strong flow of the life energy qi in major organs and systems throughout the body. When the life energy is unbalanced and weak, tends to manifest as symptoms and illness. At Holistic Psychotherapy Center, we utilize muscle testing to help pinpoint issues like hidden food and environmental allergies, unresolved traumas, negative beliefs, and psychosomatic patterns that interfere with a person's functioning and vitality. Muscle testing is especially effective in shedding light on problems that go undetected by mainstream techniques. Subtle energy of the body is very sensitive to changes, and muscle testing can reveal those sensitivities. To perform this test, a particular indicator muscle is held in a contracted state. Pressure is applied to the muscle, while certain acupressure points related to emotions and allergies are tested. If the muscle holds or locks, it is considered a positive feedback response. If the tested person's muscle goes weak or unlocked, that would indicate an energetic block. This test is safe and non-invasive for all ages. Muscle testing is helpful in indicating which interventions or treatment the person should focus on to reestablish the energetic balance based on the finding. Get tested today. Call us at 818-501-8029.
Okay, so holistic psychotherapy has nothing to do with us or me. It was just the video. Okay, so we'll get out of here. All right. And everyone can see me and hear me again? Okay, cool. So just a quick video to kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. At school, last month when I was there, we practiced muscle response testing on each other. We had about 20 hours of classroom time learning about muscle response testing and herbs. It was herbology. It was the same course all in one. And hi, Amy, welcome. And
Hi.
hi.
I had no signal for a while.
No worries. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Okay. I didn't go frozen again, did I? Okay.
Nope.
I can see you, so that's good. Eek, I hope I don't freeze again. Okay. So we had an opportunity to practice on each other. And as you saw in that video, the way that muscle response testing works is we hold our hand over an organ. So like, let's say I said heart, and that person's arm would be out and I would apply pressure. And if the arm went weak, it's possible that that organ is weak and we need to take a look at that organ and address what might be going on. If that muscle response stays strong, that means that the body is responding strong to that. So when I had muscle response testing done on myself, for example, just to share, my adrenals were weak, which we were kind of tapping on when we did that Tai Chi exercise. And what are your adrenals for? Right? Some of you may know adrenals have a lot to do with our stress level, right? And we can tap out our adrenals when our nervous system is really stressed out. And so what can I do to address my adrenals and what can I do to support my adrenals? And we talk about strengthening or cleansing. And we'll talk about that when we get to the herb section, but do we need to strengthen our body or do we need to cleanse? And muscle testing can help us do that. So because I don't have a model in front of me and somebody to do muscle testing on this Zoom, it's a lot easier to explain and show you muscle testing if we were to do it together in person. But what I can show you is, and then after this, I'm going to open it up to some comments and questions. So the way the muscle testing works. Hello, welcome. Okay. So on the screen, you can see it says organ test points. Can you guys all see that? Okay. So on the sheet, organ test points, you can see the little dots and the lines pointing to frontal brain, lymph, lungs, heart, ascending colon, descending colon, all the different parts of the body. And what we do in muscle testing, what I would do if you were one of my clients, is I would first ask your permission to work with you and your energy. We would balance your energy. And then I would work with you by placing my hand over one of these areas of your body. You would place one arm out, and I would have you match my energy and see whether or not you felt strong in that area of your body or weak. So once again, reminding you down here in the adrenals, you can see in the bottom and the back by the kidneys, that's where I tested a little weaker. So that just told me that I need to support my adrenals. The really cool thing about this is it's non-invasive, like the video said. So you can go get blood work done, right? Which we probably get done annually, or you can do muscle response testing, which will show us our weaknesses based on the polarity and electricity of your body, the electrical currents going through your body. For those of you that are very science-based and research-based, I encourage you to do both. Get your blood work done and then have muscle response testing done and compare them and see, it's maybe more tangible results for you, right? Where you can see it on a piece of paper. And I think that you will become more of a believer that way if you are a little skeptical about, does muscle response testing work or is it for me? The cool thing about learning during this process with me is that we can work together on muscle response testing, and you guys can be my clients as I go through this process of learning about muscle response testing, and it'll kind of be an intro for many of you onto how to heal your body. And maybe some things that you've known, your intuition has been telling you are going on, or maybe some history in your family, some genetic things happening. And maybe that'll just kind of clarify for you. So again, I want this to be interactive, and we're going to go back and forth between me reading and showing you graphs, videos, and then opening it up to you guys. I know I've got some people on this call that know a little bit about muscle response testing. And then I also know I've got some people on this call that want to ask a question or two. So just to keep it fresh and interesting, I'm going to open the floor up. If you know about muscle response testing and you'd be willing to share a thing or two, please just unmute yourself and we would love to hear from you. Hi, yes, it's your floor, girl.
Okay, I don't do what you're talking about with the organs.
Uh-huh.
got done by my chiropractor doctor and my other naturopathic doctor. But what I learned from Jack Canfield
Mhm.
of the chicken soup, I'm on his mailing list, and he said this is some muscle testing you can do to see if foods that you absorb or eat are good for you.
Mhm.
So I learned one, and it worked so good that I either fall forward if I'm good, or I fall backwards if it's bad. I fell backwards so bad one day I hit the desk and broke my head open.
Yikes.
So here's what I do. I take whatever I want to test, and I can go through the grocery store and nobody notices, but I put it on my belly button because that's where I came in with God, right? I was attached. So this is my water, and I'm too close to my chair. I'm going like so forward because this is filtrated water. He said test it with something that you know is really good and something that you know is really bad, so you know whether your body's going to go forward or backwards.
Mhm.
It's obviously not organ oriented, but
Mhm.
it's about what my body needs and wants, and then I can say I can take uh, a supplement and say. I take one of these, and I can hold the bottle up and it'll go forward or backward. And if it goes backwards, I can say, well, I take two of these a day, and then so you always say the positive. Anyway, a good way to test it is like an organic lemon, organic orange. Like you can find out whether you go forward or backwards with that. Anyway, my husband, he's totally like teases me because I go through the grocery store and it could be organic, and my body will say no. He goes, well, it's organic. Your body should say yes. You know? But I said, there's something in it. My body doesn't like. So anyway,
Well, tell us
Right.
about that. Tell us about that too, because I am so passionate about this. You were mentioning organic and why your body would lean forward with something that's organic and why your body would lean back if it wasn't organic. So I know the answer, but tell us why it's important to choose organic things.
well, organic is going to guarantee me that it's not genetically modified and it doesn't have pesticides. So I'm trying to rid my body of as many chemicals as I can. I gave up sugar a long time ago, and so I'm really trying to cleanse my body of chemicals. Now it's really hard because they come at us from every. You can't drive your car without having chemicals come at you from exhaust. I try to cleanse the chemicals. I do have water purifier machine, which is testing like 1,000% yes, like I could follow or forward. And I didn't know this about supplements. About my body would go yes or no in supplements, but my friend taught me how many I need to take. And I don't ask a question. You never ask a question. You make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
You say, I take one a day, or I take two a day, I take four a day, or whatever. But if it's organic, let's say it's processed, something's about it's processed, and there's something in there, my body will say yes if it's all good. And like I might buy some chips. Like, occasionally you want chips, right? Organic chips, right? And then my body will say, no, 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 no. I'll go backwards so bad. And he goes, it's organic. Why do you say that? I'm like, I don't know. It's probably the oil or something they put in it. So I'm just picking that as an example. It's just, there's something in it. And maybe it says organic and maybe it's not organic. Or maybe it was filtered, like something came from another yard to it, even certified organic. Anyway.
No, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, because we've learned so much about that in the past 6 months too. Things that we think are safe are not, and the top GMO crops being corn, sugar beets, wheat, just surprising things that we wouldn't think.
Soy,
Soy, yeah. And
and
I think I just read too that 85%, don't quote me on that, but 85% of things at the grocery store have corn syrup in them or are genetically modified in some way. It's some really absurd number. And things are also hidden in food as code words.
natural flavors is
Yeah.
a big code word,
Right.
and it could be bad,
Right.
but you don't know.
Right.
So,
Also, you could,
so you can body test like
Right.
I do, you can know.
Right. Right. Miss Amy.
can you hear me? Oh, I said, also, it could, if it tests negative, it could be good and it's not good for your blood type or your metabolic type.
Great point. Great point. So what Amy brings up is that all of us have a blood type A, blood type B, blood type O. And depending on your blood type, I'll give you a good example of that. If you're an O, you probably need some meat. But if you're an A, your body's going to want more vegetarian based or some tofu once in a while. And then also you have to take into account allergies, so if you are leaning back and you're holding an organic pineapple, but you're allergic to pineapple, it's also that intuition and starting to know what your body needs and wants and how you have, the most optimal health, right? Miss Amy, anything else? I know you've worked with muscle response testing quite a bit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, that's a good point. The allergies too. There could be other reasons, even if the food is decent, there could be other reasons,
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Well,
Thanks.
and yeah, no.
I keep going on mute because I'm driving.
Oh, that's okay. Good. No, just be careful. I keep using the example of my muscle response testing example so that we can, I'm sorry, hold on. There's a question coming in. Did you know that organic vegetables and fruits start with a 9? I don't think I knew that. Yeah. Oh, thumbs up. Look at that tip. Organic fruits and vegetables start with a 9. So if you're at the grocery store and there's a little sticker on it, look for the 9. Perfect. Thank you for that. Awesome.
And it can say organic on the sign,
Uh-huh.
but if there is a 4 or a 5, don't buy it. If you want organic.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Cool. Does anyone else on the Zoom call have any tidbits of knowledge for us on muscle response testing, or has anyone ever done it? I see Al walking up. Are you trying to unmute, sister?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
So it's funny that when I read that you were doing this tonight, because I just took my son, who's 24, to have a muscle response test done this week on Tuesday.
No way.
Yeah. We went to a friend and basically we had never seen it done. We didn't really know that much about it, but he wanted to see how he was doing. And he's been going to school in Arizona where he has really good health, good respiratory health. But then when he comes back here, we have pets in the home and he was struggling.
Yeah.
So we wanted to just kind of see what was going on. So basically what this person did was she had him same kind of demonstration where the arm, and then she would push down, but he would hold different supplements. And so when he did hold the supplement, well, I don't know, basically it did show that his lungs were having some problems.
Okay.
His lungs and his thymus.
Okay.
So then when he would hold the supplements, it would actually, his arm would lock. And it was showing what would help him, which was very interesting.
He
So,
was testing strong because his body wanted that.
yes, so I am still a skeptic, I will be totally honest, but
Yeah.
that, I would like to have it done to myself sometime, so if you need a guinea pig. But yeah, it was very interesting, and just really interesting that you were talking about this tonight when we had just done it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Allison, I just want to tell you, I so appreciate you sharing that. And I also appreciate your courage to say you're a skeptic, because that's the beauty of us all coming together and learning something new. Is we take away pieces that
Mhm.
are true to us and that resonate with us. And then we take away pieces that we're like, you know what? No, I need to do my own research on that. And we all, every one of us on this workshop, this call, you need to be your own advocate for your health, because Western medicine is prevalent. What we know in our world is you go to the doctor, you get medication, they look at your symptoms. It's not natural. It's not a natural thing to look at the root cause. We have to make it a natural thing. Collectively, as a group right now, we have to say, before this before intervention of surgery, before intervention of a medication, before intervention of a diagnosis, what's actually going on? So if Allison's son is having bronchial issues, we go to the doctor and they say, well, here's a what's it called? Inhaler. Here's an inhaler. Here are some things you can do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not at all saying there's anything wrong with that. But what I am saying is what I've learned is that there are other possible causes and things that are going on that we can look at first. For example, a lot of times the lungs and the chest could have to do with parasites in the body. If we have a parasite in our body and we need a parasite cleanse, which probably just freaked some of you out, but we walk on dirt, we're around pets, right? And it's very possible that we have these little critters in our body. And if they make their way to their lungs, that could be something that we could do to cleanse our body. How do we cleanse our body of parasites? Herbs, right? Which is why we're talking about herbs tonight too. So black walnut capsule or pumpkin, which we'll get to that. But I guess I just really appreciate you sharing that, because you hear asthma, you hear lungs, you hear a diagnosis, and it's scary.
Mhm.
And you have, the go-to is the medicine, the go-to is the drug, the go-to is the, you know, the Western medicine side of things. But what if we looked at this side first,
I also wanted to make a quick comment that she did test him for parasites.
Really?
And through something that she had, she had these bottles of different things, and she tested him, and he did not have any parasites.
good.
For some,
Good.
isn't that interesting? But there's some way that his arm did not go down. So
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm very interested, and I'm excited to learn more.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Appreciate that. We are rocking and rolling. Anybody else want to jump in and talk about their experience with muscle response testing, or a burning question for the group? Okay. I don't see anybody diving at the screen, so that's cool. Okay, so just hopping around a little bit. I want to go back to me mentioning my adrenals, and perhaps my adrenals needing support. So let's say muscle response testing is legit. Let's say it really does work and our body really would benefit from it. So let's just say what if, right? So same thing happened to me. I ended up going to see a practitioner locally because I wanted to learn from her. So not only did I learn about this at school, but I went to a practitioner locally, and she's fantastic. And she did the same thing that Jan was talking about, and the same thing that Al was talking about. And she held these different products up to my body. And some of you are talking about holding it at your thymus. Some of you are talking about holding it at your heart. And others of you are talking about holding it at your belly. Just know these are all lines of energy that our body can read. Okay. Some people I've even seen hold it up here. So just hold the damn thing to your body. Don't overthink it too much. Okay. So she held this up to my body. It was one of many adrenal supports that she held up to my body. And my arm stayed super strong with this one. And then she also had me rock with this one, and my body rocked forward. And then the other one she had me test were I was weak. My body didn't want those ones. And then she had me test for 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day. So a little repetitive on what we've already talked about, but I want you guys to get it. I want you to understand what we're talking about. So this is called Drenamin. And Drenamin is adrenal health and mood balance. And what does it contain? Well, Drenamin contains vitamin C, niacin, vitamin B6. Your B vitamins are your energy and your mood, right? Choline, which I believe is a mineral. Sodium. We could go down a whole road of what kind of sodium you should eat. We might get there. Bovine liver, bovine adrenal, nutritional yeast, organic buckwheat, magnesium, organic oat flour, organic shiitake mushroom, organic reishi mushroom. There's quite a bit of bovine in here. So that must be a good liver support or adrenal support, I'm guessing. So this is what my body responded to for adrenals. And we're going to talk about adrenals and we're going to talk about herbs, but I just kind of wanted to share that story with you. The same thing could be true to you if we tested, like Allison's son, it was lungs. So what herbs would be beneficial to her son's lungs? Or maybe the recommendation from the naturopath doctor or chiropractor would be daily breath work, going for a walk in nature, less stress, supporting with minerals. Maybe it's enzymes. It's like this puzzle. Each of our bodies is its own little puzzle that we have to figure out. And if you are passionate enough about healing yourself, we can figure it out. We can figure it out. We can. And it might take a lifetime. It might take a lifetime to do it. Or it might not. You just never know. So, going back to muscle response testing, we are at 7:52, which is perfect because I wanted 1 hour to talk about muscle response testing and 1 hour to talk about herbs. Nutritional test points. So this is my other chart that I'll be working with on clients and talking to you about. And you can see that in addition to testing organs with weak or strong, there's all these different test points. And I don't know if this is backwards on your screen, but I'll just kind of point up to the top. This is your stress point. This would be potassium and sodium. This would be iodine, right? Because what organ is right there? That's your thyroid, right? Thyroid, which I know a lot of us have thyroid issues. We've got enzymes, hydrochloric acid, magnesium, vitamin D, iron, zinc. So all of these kind of correspond to different meridians of the body, right? And so holding our hand over that area and testing weak. One of my family members, we did her muscle response testing and she tested very weak in her thyroid, and she's had a lifetime of thyroid issues, so we weren't surprised. So we tested some different iodines on her. You can get iodine drops that you can put under your tongue, but you can also get iodine from kelp. So it really depends on how severe your thyroid issues are. You may be responsive to iodine, or you may be more responsive to kelp, or there might be something else that you need to take. The other thing I want to mention about thyroid is that when you go in to get your blood work done, if you don't ask for a comprehensive blood work with your T3 and your T4, and you're not specific about which parts of your thyroid you want tested, they're not going to test them. So a naturopathic doctor will look at that. That's very important to getting to the root of your health. So I just want you guys to know that. Okay. And then there's the final test points of the body to test. You can see like vaccine is right here. You know, growing up, all the different vaccines that we might have had, it could show if there's a weakness in our body from the vaccine. And then we can take a look at, for example, if the vaccine of part of your body tested weak, and then your vitamin C tested weak, and your vitamin D tested weak, and your potassium tested weak, we could say, I wonder if those minerals were depleted by the vaccines that were put in our body, or I wonder if they were depleted by something else going on. So it all ties together. We can't just look at one thing. We have to realize that it's all connected, right? Everything within our body is connected. If we are always in a state of anxiety and fight or flight or stress, our nervous system is all out of whack. Well, why is our nervous system all out of whack? Are we not taking the time to, you know, go for a walk or do yoga? Are we not taking the time to do breath work? Are we not saying no when we need to say no? Are our minerals out of whack? Are our vitamins out of whack? There's all these different things that could be going on in the body, right? So muscle response testing is kind of like, it's like a key or insight into what parts of the body may be weak. And then it's also insight into what your body wants and needs based on, like what Jan said, holding up the product and rocking forward and back. So whether you're a believer or not a believer, I think it would be really cool if you guys were open-minded, and maybe when you're in the grocery store, play with it a little bit. You know, grab that organic orange and see what happens with your body. If you have probiotics, put them up to your thymus or your heart or your, you know, down by your belly button and see what happens. Is it the right probiotic for you? Because probiotics, you know, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about, but there's all these different strains. So how do you know if you're taking the right strain, right? Anyways, I digress on that. So wrapping up muscle response testing before we move on to herbs, does anybody want to shout out any questions or say anything on muscle response testing? Okay, you guys ready to move on to herbs? Woohoo! I know you guys have never been so excited about herbs. So, okay, cool, we'll move on. So okay, so herbology and muscle response testing. One in the same weekend of what we dove into, and Sherry and Amy can attest, it was all encompassing and amazing. So I'm going to try to make this as hands-on and as interactive as possible. Also, I want you guys to know that anything we talk about today, if you guys want copies, like I know you're taking notes, but if you guys want me to send you copies of anything we talked about, just let me know in the chat section and I can scan and copy these into you because there's a lot of information. So, herbology. I'm not going to dive into the history of herbology. I think we all know what an herb is. The healing aspects of herbs date back thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And we probably all know a gardener or somebody that grows herbs in their garden and maybe brings us fresh basil or fresh thyme. And maybe we cook with those, but we don't necessarily know all the benefits of what these herbs do. So we're going to break it down. I want to start today with liver and gallbladder, just because I think we all could cleanse our liver. I think our livers could all use a good cleansing based on the world that we live in. So Liver and gallbladder. Let's talk about imbalances. A liver and gallbladder imbalance, if your liver and gallbladder is stressed, so yes, your liver and gallbladder can be stressed. It might show up as the flu, as nausea, as swelling and tenderness, as difficulty getting to sleep, difficulty waking up, stiffness, headaches, rashes, hives, acne. If your liver or gallbladder is weakened, it could show up as hypoglycemia. It could show up as PMS, mood swings, chronic skin disorders, high cholesterol, plus any of the above symptoms that we talked about. So if your liver or gallbladder is stressed or weakened, we might be seeing these things in our body, and we could muscle test our liver and gallbladder. So the mental or emotional state, yes, your liver and your gallbladder has an emotion. So your mental and emotional state of your liver is anger, irritability, depression. Deep pressed anger is depression, deep pressed anger. So your liver and your gallbladder hold on to anger. So if we cleanse and free our liver of all those toxins, we're going to be a little bit happier of a person. Our liver also processes hormones, so that's important for you to know. And we're all ingesting toxins and GMOs in the foods we eat and the beauty products that we put on, right? So what herbs do we use for liver cleansing? This is so good to know. Dandelion. Yay, dandelion. Those little pesky flowers that grow in your backyard actually have a purpose. So my new favorite, the last 6 months since I've been at school, is Dandy Blends. This is not an ad. I'm not getting paid to show you my Dandy Blend, but this stuff is so yummy. And it is, I got it on Amazon, or I get it at the herb shop that I go to, but it is roasted barley extracts, roasted rye extracts, roasted chicory root, and roasted dandelion root. Dandelion is so good for you guys. So what you do is you put this in some hot water in the morning. You can mix it with some organic coconut milk if you wanted to. You could add some turmeric for a little anti-inflammation. And if you really want to be crazy, put a scoop in your coffee in the morning, which I know some people would say coffee is bad for the adrenals, coffee is bad, but I put the dandelion in my first cup of coffee, and then I'll drink dandelion blend throughout the day too, just because I like the taste. It tastes really rich. It has like a coffee flavor, and it's not caffeinated. So dandelion, yay for liver, yay for gallbladder. Burdock, steamed zucchini, good for the liver, cleansing. Good to build your liver is Pau d'Arco, P-A-U-D-A-R-C-O, Pau d'Arco. Milk thistle, you guys heard of milk thistle? Really good for the liver. And blessed thistle. And then mental and emotional changes. How could we change emotionally to support our liver and gallbladder? Acknowledgement, action, and forgiveness. What are you angry about? What are you holding on to? And how could you acknowledge that? So who knew liver had an emotion, right? So I also want to show you guys, because for those of you that know me, I have 3 dogs. I got these 2 things for my senior doggie. She's 13. This is milk thistle superhero drops. And she has lipomas. My senior doggie has lipomas. So they're like fatty lumps on her back and on her belly. And I was reading that milk thistle is really good for lipomas. And then it's also liver and kidney support. Her liver and kidney blood work came back a little weak. So I want to support her liver and kidneys with milk thistle. And then I also read that it's good for lipomas. This kidney support for doggies, also interchangeable with humans, So more liver support would be astragalus root, which is an herb, cordyceps, and Romagna root. Again, this is a lot of information. So if there's anything I said and you need that information later, I can send it to you. What was I going to say about, I was going to say something else about the liver. It'll come to me. Okay. What else, guys? Before we move on to the next one, does anybody, I know you guys are itching to talk about your liver. Who's got some liver stuff? Who's got something going on with their liver or something they want to share that's helped with their liver? Who's done a liver cleanse? No,
Have you heard of celery juice?
celery juice. Heck yeah, celery juice is delightful.
Straight celery juice will clean you out no matter what.
Will we have to run to the bathroom?
Well, you got to start slow.
Okay.
Don't like I like to do 16 ounces or more a day, but I had to start slow because I was in the bathroom.
Yeah. Okay.
But if there's anything in there that needs to come out, it's going to come out.
I
And so-
mean,
yeah.
I would think all of us have something that need to come out of our liver, right? Cleanse the liver.
My blood work is like A+. Like my doctor's like freaking out and she goes, "What do you do?" And I said, "I told you, I gave you the book on it. I do celery juice." Anyway.
So do you juice your own?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Awesome. Everybody get a juicer. Kevin, I see you chomping at the bit. Share. Love it.
All right, I'll share quickly.
Okay.
We've done, my wife and I, my son, one of my sons, we've done multiple liver flushes. A friend of mine wrote a book on detoxing, and I edited both the books he wrote, and so I'm very familiar with the protocols that he has researched and modified for his own purposes. And basically, when you do a liver flush, you're flushing the gallbladder. You're getting all of the stones. They call them gallstones, but they're actually created in the liver. They get pushed into the gallbladder and stored there if you don't do something to get them out. So I've probably done between 20 and 30 liver flushes over the last 5 to 6 years. My friend, Dr. D, that Allie knows, has probably done around 100 of them, maybe more. And very beneficial. You feel rejuvenated when you do them, and it's something I would recommend to anybody. And he's actually had a person who was supposed to have a cholecystectomy having their gallbladder removed. That's what the doctor told them they needed to have. This person contacted Dr. D and got the liver flush protocols, did the protocol, went ahead and did the liver flush, and ended up not having to have his gallbladder removed. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody that way, but if you can take the time and go through the protocol and do what's necessary, it does flush the gallstones out, and it's amazing when you see them. It's pretty crazy to see how many you can actually get out of your body. So, good results.
That's definitely a 2023 thing I want to do. I did the parasite cleanse in 2022, and I have my own story on that, but I definitely want to do that. So I'll have to circle back with you, Mr. Whitted, on what that looked like. I wrote down, was that the olive oil and lemon juice? Was that the one that you did?
The lemon juice is more for you use the lemon juice when you're doing the kidney flush.
Okay.
But the olive oil, you can use olive oil. I've been using mainly avocado oil as part of the process, but that's the one with the Epsom salts that you fast and then
Epsom salts. Okay.
Yep. So, but yeah, I can definitely go over that with you at some point.
What's the name of Dr. D's book on the cleanse?
If you look up, it's even on Amazon, 12-Step Detox by Dr. Dr. Christopher Dorais, Dorais.
Okay.
You can look it up. And the 12-step detox, it just goes through different detoxes you can do on your body. There's a thyroid flush, there's liver, kidneys, and so forth. So you can go through and read. But the one I've done the most is definitely the liver.
Okay, awesome. And Dr. Dorais, his other book, Detox Memoir,
Yes.
is how he has cleansed his body of
Heavy metal toxicity.
heavy metal toxicity, heavy metal. So that's another, I actually have that book and it's on my 2023 book list to read. But what I love so much, just say one thing on this. What I love so much about this conversation is I feel like in this diet crazed cleanse world, people hear the word cleanse and they go, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to go 5 days without eating. I'm not going to do, and we've kind of given cleanse a bad word. And I want to reframe this with every person on this call tonight. I want to reframe the word cleanse. And I want you to think of your body as we hold on to, maybe in our liver, maybe in our kidneys, maybe in our gallbladder, any trauma we've been through, or any toxins out there in the air, any toxins we breathe, any chemicals we spray on our body, any aluminum deodorant we've put on in our lifetime, any non-organic tampons, any toxins we've taken into our body are stored somewhere, right? So a cleanse is about getting those out of your body. And so I really just want to reframe that. And I so appreciate you sharing that, Kevin, because what was your motivation to do it so many times? Like, why did you do the cleanse that many times?
Because I know that, I'm almost 60 years old, and I know that over my lifetime, I've ingested a lot of different toxins in my body that my body attempts to store and keep out of harm's way. But, when you've built up that much, there's a need to remove what you can, especially whether it's, heavy metal toxicity because of, metal fillings in your mouth, or, things that you've ingested, depending on where you've lived. If you've lived near, high pollution areas where you've been exposed to things in the air or chemicals on, produce or whatever it might be, we have a lot in our bodies that we need to get out. So, there's his book talks a lot about the ability, or the differences in his body's ability to, heal itself once, he got rid of a lot of that toxicity, and how, even as, as an older male, having higher testosterone levels because your body is able to function the way it's supposed to be, and it's not overly hindered by the toxins that your body is storing. So there's some amazing information, and I would encourage people not just to read Dr. D's book, but do the research as you encourage people to do.
Yeah.
Do the research yourselves and look into it and find out, do I have a need to detox my body and do some of these cleanses? And it's not a dietary cleanse like you're trying to lose weight. It's you're flushing, you're cleansing things out of your body. You're flushing things out of your body that you need to get out.
Right.
So.
Amen. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. On that note, I apologize, but we have to take off, but thank you. And we'll look forward to watching the rest on the recording. And we'll catch
I
up
know, I so appreciate it. And we are going to go into lung. So I'll fill you in on the lung stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night. Yep. Bye-bye.
You too. All right. Super cool, huh, guys? Okay. So before we move on from liver and gallbladder, speak now or forever hold your peace on liver and gallbladder. You can always follow up with me later if you need to also. Okay. We can go kidney and bladder, or we can go lung next. Thumbs up if you want kidney and bladder. Okay. Thumbs up if you want lung. All right. I can't see a lot of your thumbs. I think it was tied. Okay, perfect. We'll just go in order then. We're going to go kidney and bladder, and then we'll go lung. Okay, deal? Cool. All right, so here we go. Get back to my view here. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, so your kidney also has an emotion, and your bladder also has an emotion. And if your kidney and bladder are stressed, it may show up as water retention, bloating, stiffness, acute back pain. If your kidney and bladder is weakened, it may show up as chronic back pain, headaches, arthritis, weakness of the knees and ankles, sciatic pain, stiffness of the neck and shoulders. The mental and emotional state of the kidney and bladder is fear, inflexibility, lack of foundation, lack of ability to be stable. We need to build the kidneys if we're feeling fearful, inflexible, lack of a foundation. And cleansing the kidneys and bladder would be lemon juice, juniper berries, uva ursi, hydrangea, and cranberries. So I'll say that again. To cleanse the kidneys and bladder, lemon juice, juniper berries, uva ursi. It's UVAURSI, hydrangea and cranberries. To build the kidneys and the bladder, we need horsetail, parsley, corn silk, again, the uva ursa. The uva ursa lightens and tones the bladder. And horsetail looks like bamboo. It's also good for joints and good for bedwetting. Mental and emotional changes, acknowledgement. Once again, we need to acknowledge what's going on in our life, have faith and courage, and learn to accept risks. So kind of tying into that emotion. Now, I bought some horsetail. I bought some horsetail for post-baby jumping jack issues. Do you like that? AKA, I pee my pants when I do jumping jacks. Because I had babies. So that's what happens, right? The pelvic floor needs a little toning. So this horsetail, you can just put a couple drops under your tongue, or you can stick it in your water every morning. For the last, I'll be honest, I haven't done it consistently, but we'll say for the last 2 months. First thing I drink in the morning is I squeeze an organic lemon in my purified water, or in my filtered water. I squeeze my lemon in and I drink that to flush my kidneys before I have anything else. I try to be really good about that. And that's where the lemon comes in. This is also good for kids. Kids could take this if they have incontinence issues, wetting the bed. Kids naturally will, right? If they don't have the hormone that tells their body to wake up at night. But I did ask if this was safe for kids, and it is. So for those of you that had questions about that. I already showed you the kidney one for my dog. The kidney support, same for humans. I'll remind you, astragalus. And don't judge me if I'm saying these wrong. Cordyceps and Romagna root. So that's kidneys and bladder. All right, opening it up for kidneys and bladder. Anybody want to share what's worked well for them? I loved the celery juice suggestion for liver. What do we got for kidneys, Jan? Oh, you're on mute.
I was thinking more bladder, because there's a bladder herb or supplement that I have, and I actually been taking it, like my body says, one a day.
Okay.
Actually, I actually came up with a formula that lowered my blood pressure without drugs, because my blood pressure like went crazy, like 180 over whatever, like it just went crazy, and I'm like, what's up with this? I don't want drugs. So I started taking this, maybe I can come up with the name of it. It's it just came. Hang on. Hello, girl. Oh, Demantos.
Okay.
That's for the bladder. But it also, a little bit of it lowers your blood pressure. So I do the garlic, the kyolic garlic, the D-mannose, and I'm on my blood pressure right now, which is kind of off the subject, but I just wanted to complete my sentence. The olive leaf extract.
Mhm.
And those three with the celery juice I went from 180 over God knows what to like I wake up and I'm 112 over.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't take any drugs. But that bladder one, that D-mannose, is a good one to always keep in your cupboard because if you get a bladder infection,
Mm,
you can just, like I just take one.
okay.
You could take like 3 or 4, like three times a day and flush it out.
Yeah.
And my doctor even told me, my doctor kind of leans natural, but she's an MD. And she even told me if you're in Europe or somewhere, just take some baking soda and put it in water and until you can get your D-mannose, unless you don't have it with you.
Would
So,
that be for the alkalinity then? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. Perfect.
I'm like you. I do the lemon water every morning, so I hardly have a problem.
Yeah.
But I learned that about that bladder thing, and I never get sick anymore. I mean, I just quit.
Yeah. Well, probably the no sugar is a huge part of that too. Because the sugar, sugar always creates a breeding ground in our body for sickness.
Well, but actually, since I've gotten on that regime for my high blood pressure, that garlic, kyolic garlic, actually Jim told me about it
Mhm.
years ago. And I had it in my cupboard and I read an article. So I thought celery juice and that and the olive leaf and that D-mannose. I mean, I'm
Cool.
I don't get sick. I feel wonderful every day, but it's probably helping my bladder too, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm only taking a little bit. But if you get a bladder infection, definitely hit it hard.
Cool. That's good to know.
And so and cranberry
And cranberry. Right. Right.
and lemon water probably.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in on the bladder before we move on? Okay. Cool. Remember, you can always type your questions in the chat and we can get to them. All right, moving on to lung. We have so much we could cover. So I want to just kind of keep us moving around. Lung imbalances. A stressed lungs could show up as acute respiratory congestion, a wet cough, sinus drainage, asthma or congestion. Weakened lungs could show up as dry cough, shortness of breath, or emphysema. The mental and emotional state of your lungs is being hurt or sad, feeling unloved, can't get something off your chest, grief. So, what do we do to cleanse the lungs? What do we do to dry up any mucusy yuckies in the lungs? Garlic, lobelia, 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 warm water, and fenugreek. Fenugreek is good at scrubbing the lungs. What do we do to build the lungs? What do we do to moisten the lungs if the lungs need moistening? Marshmallow, not the kind of marshmallows in your hot cocoa, marshmallow root. It looks like an ivy and it has like a little marshmallowy looking thing inside of it. Mullein, Mullein, mullein. Angelica is another herb. And the mental and emotional changes. How can we support our lungs? Crying is good, right? It's just such a release. Sighing, probably some breath work too. Letting go, learning to breathe. Learning to breathe is to learn to feel. So that's lungs. Anyone else want to open up on lungs? No? Okay. When we talk about iridology, which is studying the eyes, and I cannot wait to do that with you guys. So iridology is coming soon. It's really cool talking about iridology and the lungs and which color eyes are more predisposed to respiratory and colon. Pretty cool. So that ties into it too. I'm going to jump over heart and pancreas, and I'll come back if we have time because I really want to hit thyroid. Is that cool? All right, let's hit thyroid. All right. So moving right along. Oops. Changing my view. Okay. Moving on to thyroid. All right. So your thyroid controls your hormones. Your thyroid needs iodine. And your thyroid also controls peristaltic action, just to kind of remind you. If your thyroid is stressed, you might be skinny. You might have poor weight gain. You might have Graves' disease. You might be high strung, anxious, tense, nervous, hyperactive. If your thyroid is weakened, it's the opposite. You'll have problems keeping weight off. You'll have weight gain. You'll have fatigue. You'll have low body temperature. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So if you need to, or if your thyroid is weakened, slow metabolism, loss of sex drive, dry skin, problems conceiving, you might be tongue-tied, your oxygen concentration to the brain is decreased. Moral of the story is we don't want an overstressed thyroid and we don't want an overweak thyroid. We want a balanced thyroid, right? We want her to be balanced. So mental and emotional states. What is the emotion of the thyroid? If we had more time together, I'd have you guys guess. The emotion of the thyroid is blocked self-expression, the inability to think thoughts and feelings. So we don't feel like we can express ourselves. So corrections, how do we cleanse the thyroid? Bugle weed, like the bugles that you stick on your finger. Remember those chips? Bugle weed. Hops, I don't think beer counts. I'm sorry. Hops. And then cleaning the blood. How do we clean the blood? Chlorophyll or red clover helps clean the blood. How do we build the thyroid? I'm sorry, just 1 second. Yes, honey. What's going on?
So Charlie's been doing so many bad things.
Yeah.
So
You can have Charlie come up here.
you know what? She dug a plant outside. And she ate something my teacher gave me.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
she teared up a book.
Oh, I'm sorry she's so naughty. Why don't you have her come up here? Do you want to say hi really quick? No? Okay. All right. He's he's helping me watch the dogs and they're tearing up. Charlie's tearing up books and digging holes. And for those of you that know Charlie, you're not surprised. Okay. So Charlie has nothing to do with the thyroid, but all right, let me go back. So cleansing the thyroid is bugleweed, hops, cleaning the blood. Building the thyroid is kelp and iodine, Irish moss, dulce, if I'm saying that right, DULSE, black walnut, which is also a great parasitic, helps with parasites. Little note I wrote here, know the source of the seaweed. So make sure you know the source of the seaweed. You don't want to just eat any seaweed. Okay, so for thyroid emotions, mental and emotional changes, how to support your thyroid. We want to be able to self-express, and we need to learn how to communicate. So there might be some therapy involved in balancing our thyroid. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say to balance your thyroid. Muscle testing also helps with thyroid, and we would muscle test your yin and your yang side of your body. So your yin side of your body is your left side of your body. That's your more feminine side. And your yang side of your body is your right side of your body. So as we test the body, the different sides of the thyroid, the different sides of the adrenals, that comes into play too. If the adrenals are tanking, if the adrenals are not doing well, the thyroid will back up the adrenals. And so the thyroid will become weakened, right? Because it's trying to support the adrenals, because the body is so smart. The body wants to be healthy. And we also at the same time want to support and build the adrenals with the thyroid if we're having issues there. So I know, again, we could do a whole entire Zoom on thyroid. So who wants to jump in and share what they take to support their thyroid? If you guys have any thyroid issues, if you've ever been diagnosed with hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, anything you say and share today will help others.
I just wanted to say that Louise Hay has in the back of her book
Uh-huh.
all the different categories of things.
Uh-huh.
And I have that book. It's like one I refer to, and I have a thyroid issue always. So she says it's joy.
Mhm.
Joy.
Joy.
So I'm thinking, okay, so where have I lost my joy? Well, I did go through a period of time where I didn't know my daughter was alive or dead, and maybe that started it. I don't know. But anyway, we're over that. But that's what Louise Hay says about a thyroid. Now, I didn't realize that thyroid and adrenals are connected. So I learned something new today. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Welcome. And I wish I could dive into looking at my notes here to give you all the specifics of why. But that's just good to know. The adrenals are tanking, not doing well. The thyroid will back them up. It probably has something to do with the thyroid is hormones, and adrenals are nervous system, right? Adrenals are Amy or Sherry. Do you guys know the why of the adrenals and the thyroid? Can you go back to class and think of why that is? No, too much information. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to the bottom of that. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Jan. Thank you for that. Anyone else on thyroid?
Wink, wink.
Oh, there it is. The wink wink. Amy, what's in the wink wink? Tell us.
Several different kinds of kelp.
Several different
And
kinds.
it seems like that's what I've heard, but it does seem like there's something hot in there, like possibly cayenne or some kind of,
Well, and you said
a
that
pepper.
you said the wink wink. We call it the wink wink because it's the super secret thyroid blend that we can get at school, but we have to go up to the counter and give a wink wink. You said it helped you right away, right?
Yes, definitely. I have thyroid issues and I've never taken anything, but she said, Dr. Baker said that it's hard for your body to, it's hard for your thyroid to take in different kinds of kelp. It's a specific situation that it can do that. So the wink wink is perfect for that. And I do notice a difference with the wink wink because I have tried several kinds of kelp and seaweed and things like that. Sea vegetables. So the wink wink I recommend it highly. 3 drops under the tongue or muscle test it. That's what I muscle test.
Right, muscle test. And so for those of you that are super confused about the wink wink, you can only get the wink wink at our school. So if anybody wants the wink wink, you can just let me know. But the wink wink is like Amy said, different kinds of kelp, and it supports your thyroid, and it contains iodine essentially. So yeah, thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. And I found this in my notes too, so I want to just read this. Thyroid regulates metabolism and body temperature and deals with self-expression. So we just talked about that. The liver is the furnace. The thyroid is the thermostat. So if you have hot flashes, your liver is congested. For what it's worth, if anyone has hot flashes, your liver could be congested. You need to cleanse your liver. Your thyroid's your thermostat. It's making y'all hot. And your liver's your furnace. So it's kind of cool. I told you, everything is connected. Everything is connected. Okay, let's go back to, we're okay on time. We are at 8:34. We are doing good. I'm going to do one more emotion, one more organ and emotion, and then I'm going to show you some of my herbs that I have. And then if we have time, I'll do another herb, or we'll just open it up to herbs that you guys love and that you want to share. Cool. Okay. So heart, very important. A stressed heart would be high blood pressure, hardening of the arteries, cold limbs, absent-mindedness, falling asleep while sitting, spider veins or chest pains. A weakened heart would be heart attack, stroke, water retention in the legs, wounds not healing in your extremities, or varicose veins. Your mental and emotional state. What's the emotion of the heart? Unresolved grief, loss of love, hardness of the heart, emotional coldness, or broken heart. That makes sense, right? So corrections, cleansing the heart is Google, not like Google on a computer. It's Guggul, Google. And I wrote down that Google is the fat from a tree. I have to look that one up. That's kind of cool. Capsicum. I know some of you probably know what capsicum is. Kelvin. No, thank you. Capsicum is cayenne pepper, so that a little spicy, right? Garlic, another reason we should be eating garlic. And then oral chelation. So oral chelation takes out metals. There's something called the mega chelation supplement, or alpha lipoic acid would also be good for cleansing. Building the heart. What if we need to build the heart up? Our heart's been broken, right? We need to build her or him. Hawthorn berries, CoQ10, again, capsicum, and ginger. So those spicy, it sounds like we're talking about those spicy herbs, the ones that are going to have a little more spicy kick. Hawthorn berry is amazing for the heart. If you're pregnant, it's a good one for you and baby. I wrote that down. Mental, emotional. Oh, yeah. So what to do if our heart is grieving? We need to grieve. We have to grieve. That's part of being human, right? We can't just hold it all in. Sobbing. It's like grieving, then sobbing. It's trying to tell us, yes, we need to let it out. Releasing, letting go, and being in the present moment. So learning things we can do in our life to be more present with ourselves, more present with our breath, more present with those we love, and more present with things that lift us up. And if everything is energy, which we talked about at the beginning, we need to be mindful of what energy we're giving and what energy we're receiving too, right? Okay. Heart. Opening up the floor for heart. Anybody? Okay. Cool. We're going to move. Oh, wait, I told you we're going to take a little break. Okay. So,
Oh, I have one for heart. I have one for heart.
Amy, yes, tell us.
But my dogs are playing excuse my dogs in the background playing tug of war. I'm watching my granddog. Okay, if you put your hand on your heart and smile, just like even fake it, and then, wait for it to, kind of warm up, you can, it's a really healing thing that you can do.
So easy.
It's so easy and it works, you just, because your body does, when you smile, your lips turn up, your body doesn't know the difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So cool.
So you reminded me of the 20-second hug. And the 20-second hug is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. But when you hug somebody for 20 seconds, their heart talks to your heart. And you notice your bodies kind of melt together and you calm the nervous system. And it's just really good for the heart. So thank you for reminding me of that. Hand on the heart. So special. Anybody else heart? Okay. You know, I want to say too, again, a whole nother lecture, heart disease and heart issues, you know, we hear about it all the time. We hear about heart surgeries and heart arrhythmias and heart attacks and now so sad, sudden death and things happening with the heart, right? And I think there's a lot we can do to prevent heart illness. I think there's a lot we can do, and it starts with what we eat. So, yeah, we're talking about herbs and we're talking about emotions. And that's all super duper important. But what we feed our bodies is the key to preventing heart disease. I think, you know, I know we've got the genetic things that come into play. And cholesterol is not the bad guy. Cholesterol is made out to be such a bad guy, but we actually need cholesterol. We need cholesterol for our brain to think. So just rethinking the heart. I digress. Okay, so my dogs are also playing and wrestling too. So if you hear them, a couple things I love, and then I would love to open the floor for things you guys love. This is a must have in my pantry. CKLS. Again, this is not an ad. I'm not making any money by sharing this with you. Calvin, come here, buddy. Callie, come here. C stands for colon. K stands for kidneys. L stands for liver, and S stands for spleen. So colon, kidney, liver, spleen. This is your go-to support. And what does it have in it? Well, it's got herbs in it. It's got aloe vera, chamomile, which is calming, cascara, sagrada, uva ursa, mullein, fenugreek, cayenne, which we know now as capsicum, dandelion, and eucalyptus. What a badass blend, right? So I keep this in my cupboard and I can take it daily. I don't always take it daily. I like to swap out my herbs. I took this one a lot over holiday break because I was having some wine. I was having a little bit too much pumpkin pie and I was traveling a lot and I wasn't sleeping a lot and I was just kind of putting a little more stress on my body. And I thought, you know what? My colon, kidney, liver, and spleen need some support. It won't make you run to the bathroom unless you take like 4 of them. Just take one. I recommended this to a friend and she's like, sweet. She took 4 of them and she's like, Alicia, I was on the potty all night. And I was like, well, you can't take 4. So don't call me and get all upset and angry with me if you take 4 of these, but they're awesome just to take one. I know my mom loves these too. I've got everybody I know on CKLS. The company is New Body, and they have a ton of really cool supplements. Another thing I love is this brand. So this brand is called Purium. Purium, Purium. And Purium is an all organic, it's where I get my protein shakes from and my greens and my bio fruit. I call these my when I'm in a pinch and I know I'm going to be on the run and I'm not going to be able to eat like a salad or some healthy food. I like to make myself a Purium shake. What I love so much about Purium, besides the fact that it's all organic ingredients, is that they've vowed to go plastic free by 2025. So they're now sending everything in like biodegradable packaging, and they really care about the planet. So I'm going to start with, just to give you guys an idea, where'd the other one go? Hallie, did you take off with it? Okay, Green Spectrum. Green Spectrum. This one has organic alfalfa. Alfalfa, you guys, literally, when I looked up minerals and good sources of all natural minerals. Alfalfa was on there like every single time. Alfalfa is super duper good for us. Organic alfalfa. Barley grass,